Matt, I think this was the last one for me. I think I'm done.
With with the show, you're good?
Yeah, I don't know. This one was rough.
Really? I was amped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was real amped. We went past the Universal logo and I
Uh-huh.
went, "Wait a second. I didn't know there was other, I didn't know what
Okay,
was on
you
the
know
other
what?
side."
The logo honestly was pretty hype when it switched around and it went Dark Universe. I actually really liked that part.
And the rest of the movie I was like and then it ended. And then I was like, I have to go talk about this for an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say you're where's your adventure or something?
Well, I suppose. I mean, I would say that to myself before the movie.
Okay.
And then as the movie continued.
Would you say you're entering into a new world of gods and monsters?
See, but now I'm just thinking about DC. I'm just thinking about chapter 1,
Right on.
which is happening currently.
Yes.
Which I
It's bold of James Gunn to steal that.
do we think that the gods and monsters of the Dark Universe will make an appearance?
Possibly.
What if Justice League Dark, it was like Deadman, Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Constantine, and
Yeah.
Nick Morton as the mummy?
That's a very good question. I think we should talk about that today.
I think we should talk about it. And before we do that, should we roll the intro?
I think we should do that first. Yeah, that's probably good.
All right, let's go ahead and do it.
All right. Welcome to a series of podcasts discussing series of films.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
In a world inundated with prequels, sequels, spin-offs, and reboots, we ask the question,
do we need one more? I think we do.
I think we don't.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back into the episode. As you can tell, the energy is electric on this episode.
It is electric. I've got it coursing through my veins, like whatever's in Russell Crowe's veins in this movie. Maybe sand and or glass.
Evil, I suppose.
Oh yeah, probably
he keeps
evil.
talking about evil.
Yeah, he's got a lot of little
Mr.
speeches in this one, doesn't he?
He does. It is funny that both mummy movies, in very different ways, open with the backstory narrated by a supporting character that is the leader of a secret society that the protagonists don't know anything about.
Yes.
Picked up on that. The
Yes.
difference is that in 1999, Mummy, it's interesting and cool.
It's a lot more relevant too.
Yes, it is.
I guess it's not that it's not relevant, but it is funny to do the. Yeah.
I would say it's extremely relevant because we're building a universe, and not just any universe.
Oh God, which one?
Turn the lights off because it's a dark universe. Okay, Dave? It's getting dark.
It's the dark universe, the long touted and then dead on arrival
Yes.
dark universe.
Unbelievably hyped and immediately canceled dark
I know.
universe.
So yeah, this is a very formative episode, I think, in the show. I think this is the kind of movie why the show exists.
It is. I
Yes.
think there are movies like, with the Avengers series that we just covered and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we're all loving these, but should, is it better to end on a high or all this other stuff?
Yeah.
I do think this is another side, yeah, like of this conversation of do we need one more in narrative runway, in the sense of like in the landscape of movies and stuff like that, like there is, people are trying to follow trends, and there's this idea that the shared universe is like this, $1 billion guarantee. And sometimes, most of the time, that's not true and doesn't work. And this is maybe the perfect example of like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's kind of all I was thinking this entire movie.
It is a movie I was fascinated to maybe fascinated is a little hyperbolic of a word, but like I was very excited to see because I don't know if you love, I know this, Dave. I love monster movies.
Yeah.
I love ghouls and goblins.
Yeah. How about magnets?
I'm okay with
Not
that.
related to the movie at all.
But generally, yeah.
Okay,
I like
yeah,
magnets.
big fan of magnets.
You take two of them and they bounce off each other, and then you flip them, and then
yeah,
that's cool.
And they're like stuck together.
I see that and I go, whoa, magic's real. And I love monsters. I love Tom Cruise in movies. I love watching
Yep.
him on screen. And, you know, this is a bit of a guacamole on ice cream kind of situation where it's like, I'm into both of them, but for some
There's a lot of flavor profiles going on that they don't necessarily give you a Ratatouille moment.
yeah, you put those two together and you know, they don't mesh very well.
No, guacamole and ice cream? Probably not. It's like a toothpaste and orange juice kind of situation.
Yeah, you kind of like, well, this isn't gonna
Yeah.
affect me, is it? And then
Yeah.
you take a sip and you're like, oh, wait
Yeah.
a second.
So for those of you who don't know what movie we're talking about, if you haven't picked up on everything, we're talking the 2017's The Mummy reboot
Yes.
with Tom Cruise.
Who directed it?
Alex Kurtzman?
Yeah, you
Question
got it.
mark?
You got it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. This is like, I think the last movie he directed.
Yeah, he hasn't directed. He does a lot in Star Trek.
Yeah, he does a lot of because he wrote a lot of the Star Trek movies and some of the Transformer movies and
Yes.
or maybe all of them. I'm not sure.
He has
a hand in there.
stuff.
Yeah, he's more of a producer and a writer than he is a director.
This is his
and this
second
was,
movie.
Yes, which a lot of people, I think he shouldered the blame for this movie, which I don't know if that's necessarily fair.
Cruise actually takes. I remember some of the articles. Cruise takes some of the blame on that too. People.
Okay.
There are a lot of
That's
stuff.
very responsible for him to do.
I don't know if
So I think it would be very easy to just shuck it all in Alex's corner for that one, because being like, oh, he's not experienced enough. Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing. Like, that was probably that would have been an easy thing for him to do.
Well, I will say I don't know if he has come out and taken responsibility for the Mummy, but there was a lot of names thrown around in like anonymous, you know, Vanity Fair or Deadline articles and stuff like that, and some of the conversation was that this is the closest to Tom Cruise directing a movie.
Really
is kind of what some it's all speculation. I'm not confirming or denying anything without the secretary's approval.
Okay.
Nice. And
good pull.
Thank
you.
I got a
deep pull.
Gotta loop it in.
We should that movie come out. I think that line is happening
2015,
like 2 years before.
2 years before his Rogue Nation.
This is in between Fallout and Rogue Nation, right?
Yes.
Okay. This
goes,
is what he does.
What do I do in my spare time?
He's like, hey, that franchise is coming back to life. Maybe I could launch one more on the side.
What is your relationship with Tom Cruise's The Mummy?
I'm gonna take a big sip of water before I get into this.
All right. We heard it. He did it.
Okay. So I did not see this when it came out in theaters because the reviews were not particularly glowing.
Yeah.
And I'm a very busy guy. So today was the first time I watched it.
Other than that, you have no. You were just like kind of came and went.
I'm attempting to be diplomatic today. No, yeah, this is the first time I've watched it, and possibly the last, but we'll see. You know, because this could be fun to like put on with friends and just poke fun at. I think, but I also don't know that it's even. This is a movie that's very like in the middle for me. Honestly, I feel like I want to like take a pint of blood from it, but because I have like issues, but. It is out of spite, I think.
Yeah, I will say this just off the top. We were talking off air I had said this to our wonderful producer Michael Dishno, how I feel about this movie, and I told you I'd wait till we get on mic to say it.
And alas, here we are.
And here we are, and I've decided I've changed my mind. I'm not going to bring it up. No,
damn, this guy's good at suspense.
What can I say? But I feel after this movie ended, I was like, all right, let's try to gather some opinions on 2017's The Mummy, or The Mummy of 2017. And I came to the ultimate conclusion that this movie is the biggest in one ear out the other movie I've ever seen.
I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's one of those where like I don't think it's very good.
No. It's not unwatchable bad, but it's nothing works.
This is the thing, is that it has elements that I think are okay, and that I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. Oh, that's kind of neat. But on the whole, when it ends, you're kind of like, what was I doing? Fucking. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I got to go to the bank. Like kind of one of those movies where you're not. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like even like. I'm gonna rib a movie that maybe doesn't fully deserve it, but like Batman and Robin is one of those movies that like you can watch it and be like, dumb. That you can have that fun with your friends that you're talking about. Or like, I don't know, Justice League 2017, you can watch it and be like, what the fuck were they thinking with XYZ?
Yeah.
And
just like utterly confounding choices.
Yeah, you have a couple
and then there's
drinks.
this movie
And this one you watch and you're just kind of like, first off, if you're like, hey, we should watch The Mummy, and everyone goes, yeah, and then the guy takes out the remote and puts on this one, you'd be like, bro, what even is that? We were talking about Brendan Fraser and
Yeah.
Rachel Weisz, and like we were talking about 1999's The Mummy.
Yeah, I think if I'm at a party and someone says we're gonna watch The Mummy and then you put this one on, I think I should be legally allowed to beat that guy up.
You'd be like, wait a second, I need to check out. Let me open the door. No,
Yeah.
this isn't hell. We're still on Earth.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Yeah, and yeah, this movie, yeah, again, it's not like completely unwatchable, but I don't think it's very successful at any of the things that this movie's going for.
It's a couple, yes, I
Because
agree.
I think it's a lousy adventure movie. One,
Yeah,
I think the action's pretty serviceable, but largely forgettable.
it's a lot of noise.
It's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the action's also like at the very beginning and then at the very end, and then in between, it sort of is very. It's a lot of moving from spaces to spaces, talking about stuff, and Tom Cruise being like, "Who are you? What the hell's going on?" Like every scene.
Yeah.
And then you get Nick Fury shows up, and then
That's
tells
true.
him what's going on, and it still doesn't answer many questions. But
There was a point I paused the movie because I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like,
Mhm.
I hit the pause button. I was like, I walked around my bed.
You went outside, you looked at the sun, let it warmed you,
Exactly. No,
questioned your choices, then you went to the restroom.
as I was walking out of my room, I glanced at the TV and I saw just like the bar, right, the
Yeah.
time code. And I went, "Oh my god, I'm fucking halfway through this thing." I was like, "This thing's almost what?" Like
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were here.
I
I
thought
feel
you were
like
gonna say,
nothing's happened.
I thought you
Bro.
were gonna say I saw the bar and then I went and poured myself a drink and then
No, that's the thing is that it's not even one of those movies where
No,
you
it's-
watch it and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm
no,
so
it's
slog."
it's
It just kind of happens and then it ends, and you just are like, "Right, so I've seen that now." And then that's the end of the experience. Like I wish this movie was either really obviously I wish every movie was fantastic, right? The
Yeah.
more good movies the better.
Wait,
I am
say
pro.
that again.
Did I say fantastic?
You did say fantastic.
even
I'm legally
realize.
required to
No,
quote
it's a fair.
that.
It's fair. We've done
every
it on
time.
the show. You should do it.
Yeah.
And then, but like it's not one like
This is
I
the part
want.
where I get beat up for that.
I want all. I want every movie to be good, and I want every movie to be successful and be interesting and all this stuff.
Mhm.
But if it's not, I want it to be something that tries for something and doesn't quite make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can admire that. This is the most let's try to throw like a just like down the plate, hope we get, you
Yeah.
know, like it's boring and safe.
It feels like someone did the Babe Ruth thing and then proceeded to bunt into like out of bounds. Like
yeah,
and you're just like, oh well. You probably shouldn't have done the Babe Ruth point right before you did that. Like it's like I guess you hit the ball, but
I will say like and I don't have a ton of history with this movie, but I'll say my piece kind of before we go into the quality of film, the three kind of categories that we talk about on this show.
yes.
When this movie was coming out, I remember when it got announced, hey, Universal is dipping their toe in the cinematic universe, shared
Mhm.
universe, and they're going to do it with the Universal monster movies. And they had this whole spiel where they were like, monster movies are like the original shared universe, Wolfman met such and such, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, like there was crossover back in the 30s with these movies, and so we want to take that and kind of translate that into a modern context with how we do shared universes today. And this movie comes out in 2017, so 2016, I'm like a junior, senior in high school as this stuff's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like that's kind of cool. Like I like scary movies, like that's fun. Like let's make a shared monster movie. That's interesting. There's something there. And they say, hey, like Tom Cruise is gonna star in The Mummy, and I go, holy shit, I love Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise rules. Fucking Mission Impossible is the best. Like, blah 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 blah. They cast Sofia Boutella as the Mummy.
Great choice.
Sofia Boutella, great at like
Love that casting because she's coming hot off of Kingsman too. So
yeah, she
she's great.
she is a standout in that movie. Like, and I remember everyone being like, "Who the fuck was that girl?" Like,
yeah, no, she's
her physicality is great in there. It's great in this. Like, when it is utilized.
Yeah.
And a bit of an asterisk on that sentence.
Yeah.
And as it was leading up, I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. Like, I'm kind of curious. We get the picture of everybody, and I'm like, right. So these are our
Yes. What was the lineup, Matt? Who did we have on Frankenstein?
We had Sophia Boutella as the mummy.
Yep.
We had Tom Cruise as Nick Morton.
Second mummy.
Second mummy.
Night Owl too.
Yes. The Mummy 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yep.
We had Javier Bardem as Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein monster.
We had Russell Crowe. As Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde.
As the guy.
Yeah.
and then we had Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man.
Was he there? Hard to know.
Well, it is important, as I'm sure many people on the internet know. When that photo was taken, I showed our producer Dish this, before we started recording the picture. I don't know if I said this when I was showing him the picture. That photo is photoshopped. None of those actors are actually in the same room together. They all took those photos separately. Shocker. And then they were spliced together. There were rumors that that kind of unconfirmed but confirmed that Angelina Jolie was going to play the Bride of Frankenstein.
She's in that photo, right?
She's not.
She's not. Okay. She was just, that was who they wanted, and they were in negotiation, but
it wasn't finalized, but it was in talks, and it was very heavily rumored.
Okay. I thought she was in that photo, but I guess not.
There was talks of who was going to play the Wolfman, which neither of you know.
I think I used to know at one point
who the casting is. I don't know if it was going to be a Wolfman standalone movie. If it was, I cannot imagine how that would have turned out, given this actor's history with solo films and star-studded, star-driven pictures.
Oh no! Oh no!
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Was in talks for the Wolf.
I thought you were going to say Jared Leto.
I deadass thought he was going to say Jared Leto too.
That
and I was like,
sucked.
that's funny that he ended up doing a Dracula anyway. Yeah, interesting. Okay,
I would have wanted to see the Rock.
Dwayne Johnson as the Wolfman. I remember seeing that and going like, right. So
in that one, right? His ancestors were built and now was bit, and now everyone in his family's just jacked as hell. That's gonna be the explanation in that one. Was that the idea?
Dude. I just couldn't help but think. I thought of his like makeup as like Bambi in the SNL skit, and I was like, I don't know
Bambi
if that's
2.
the one, man.
B2's Revenge.
But there was all this talk, and the movie was coming out, and when it came, it just kind of went away.
Yep.
I didn't see it in theaters.
Nope. A few did.
Few did.
I mean, people did see this movie. It had a budget 125 million, made 80 domestically, not great, but it made 409 worldwide. I mean, it's like they made their money back. It's not the most abysmal flop that we've ever seen, but it is like this is gonna be like this is like shorthand for a failed project.
It's like a kind of like a TASM 2 kind of situation where you're like, the movie doesn't do horribly domestic as a box office thing, and rightfully so, they kind of looked at the consensus and they were like, I don't think we can get people back in the theaters again for this.
I think the general consensus was no one wants this.
Also, there is I think, again, I was like interested in the idea of like, a shared universe of monsters. That's kind of fun. Like, let's see where that goes.
I'm still down for that. Honestly.
I'm not against that as an idea. I think there was some art. I don't remember who said it with this movie, but it was like, they were like, now we're wondering how we take these monsters and we turn them into like action stars. And I'm like, first mistake, bro.
Yep.
They're monsters. They're not action stars. That's the whole fucking point.
I thought they were gods.
Oh, it's true. Well, they are in some respects.
Yes.
But it's like, why? Like all you're doing then is just putting a square peg in a round hole.
A little bit, yeah.
If you're gonna do a shared universe of monsters, that's totally fine, and that can there's merit in that quest, I suppose.
Yeah.
But don't just fall into the patterns that everyone else is doing.
Well, they really wanted to compete with Marvel with this.
Yeah, everybody was.
Really bad way. Yeah, no, everyone was, and this is one of those attempts that is like I don't know what's a worse attempt, this or the Snyderverse? Like probably this, right?
It's probably this.
Yeah. Okay. Don't at me on the internet.
I think a lot of this, and I thought about this in the
Russell Crowe at the beginning of both.
I guess as we move into that's true. As we move into
maybe it's his fault.
I don't know.
He also did Les Miserables somewhere in between these.
Well, look, Russell Crowe is an actor who I
He's an
enjoy
actor.
watching him do voices. I mean, he's very good in many movies.
Yes, he
Great in
is.
The Nice Guys.
He's great in The Nice Guys.
Um,
No, I mean, it's Russell Crowe. He's great in everything. He's not even bad in this movie, to be honest. It's just
I liked him in Thor.
He's
I thought it was dumb fun.
I still have not seen that one, so
He plays Zeus.
I'm just gonna keep saying I haven't seen it, and then come Doomsday, I'll be like, so I saw it, but I died.
It's something, man. It's certainly something to behold.
But
But
as is this movie.
I just like as we kind of get into quality of film, like in
Yeah.
terms of like the universe startingness of it all. Maybe we kind of quickly get that out of the way.
Yeah, well, there's a
but-
little bit of like history we have to go over.
In terms of like, I know I just referenced Spider-Man TASM 2. This has a TASM 2 like sequence where Tom Cruise walks into a room,
Yeah, down
and
the
the
hall
camera
of cameos.
cuts to, hey, these are like 7 different monsters that we're referencing the universe. My thing with shit like that is that it's like, if you don't, shoot it directly, like if you point the camera at it and make it a moment, it becomes forced.
Yep.
If you allow it to exist in the space and allow people to discover it, it becomes world building and exciting.
Yeah.
Generally, I would say, like, there can be the gray area in there, but like to be like so bold to be like, look at that and look at that and look at that and isn't that cool? I'm like, my guy.
Yeah.
I am watching this movie. Make me like this movie so that I can rewatch it and then go, hey, that's a Dracula. Hey, that's a Gilman.
Okay. Counter offer.
Sure.
Half-ass it. Promise you people you like to come later.
That's a good, interesting.
I get an actor you really like, and I bring him in as Thanos' brother.
Do you remember when every movie was the start of a 5 to 6 movie arc?
Yeah.
It was like this, Power Rangers,
Yep.
King Arthur.
King Arthur. I
I
like King Arthur though.
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
there was
Fantastic Beast.
so many.
Remember when you were watching Colin Farrell just eat on screen and then he turned into Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Maybe it's Johnny Depp's fault.
Something that we don't love to see is people just turn into Johnny Depp.
The real horror was in that movie. And
But yeah, so like,
could you imagine if Sofia Boutella turned into Johnny Depp at the end of this one?
I'd hate that.
Or if like, someone in the corner like walked like there was shuffling and then like a book fell over and then like he just like faded in and he was naked.
I would
Just
hate.
standing there.
I would hate that.
And he was like, "It's you and me, buddy."
He's looking down
but
the barrel.
he looks on the barrel and he's like, "Where's your sense of adventure?" And Tom Cruise is like, "Oh,
Oh no, thank you, Johnny Depp.
no, thank you."
The world building stuff of this is like such.
It's like, "Hey, cats, I'm an invisible man."
It's not interesting. Like they're like, hey, look, this is our shield.
Yeah.
Prodigium.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. You could have put a gun to my head. I would have not gotten that.
I remember it because I kind of like. It's ironic how I remember it because when he said it, I was like, no one's gonna fucking remember that name.
Yeah.
Like I was like, you can't, like, shield is easy. Shield.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
And if you're like, welcome to Prodigium, I was like, no, fucking call it the Monster Squad. Just I don't give a shit. Like what? Like you're like taking yourself almost too serious. Like
a little bit. Yeah.
It's a little pretentious.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like all that is everything in this movie is very vague.
Incredibly vague. Yeah.
Who Tom Cruise and Jake Johnson
So yeah,
are
is he
vague.
military? Is he a treasure hunter?
There's a moment when Dish is shaking his head. I don't know. There's a moment where Courtney B. Vance, wonderful character actor, Courtney
Courtney
B.
B.
who's very quickly stabbed and taken out of this movie.
I know
which
that
is a
bummed me
bummer.
out. I really thought he was gonna follow around.
And there's a moment where I think it's him, Courtney B. Vance, that is talking about it, that they are recon, that they're reconnaissance, that
Yes.
for the military, that their
Mhm.
job is to
And they're in Iraq
yes, that
doing, things that you do in Iraq. War.
I'm
No,
really trying not to get on my soapbox this episode. But
Which administration is this? Is this that this takes place in
Okay.
2017?
well, if it's 2017, we all know what administration this is.
Dun, dun, dun.
but they are reconnaissance for the military. Their job, that is their job. But as they are doing that, they steal artifacts that they then sell on the black market.
So they're doing a Tomb Raider thing
that
on the side.
That is oddly very convoluted.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah, it's
why
like you
are
should
they
kind
for
of
the military?
be one or the other.
It like the military thing holds really no bearing other than giving us an action sequence at the beginning.
It seems to be a justification for some of his abilities and the plane sequence. Like, I think
fucking you just get on a plane.
Yeah, well, it's like I think Tom Cruise
Those
just
things are
really.
commercial.
Well, I was just I don't know. You've already got Prodigium. I think you can just if like she's working for it and they get caught up in the event, like you could just argue that they have like a contract with the military and they're just rolling up in style. Like I don't know. Them being military doesn't seem to add anything.
Well,
actually,
in the beginning of the movie, where Jake Johnson is like, "I'm calling it in an airstrike. I'm calling one in." I was like, "A fucking airstrike."
Yeah, I was like,
what?
"How?
Who are you?"
Nick Miller.
So confused. Okay, Jake Johnson.
Yeah,
an actor I like very much.
He's like, "Take the cookie and the dimmer."
Give me a cookie, get you cookie. I love it. I've seen interviews with him where he's like, "Look, man, Tom Cruise tells you to go out and film a mummy movie. Like, you don't fucking say no."
No,
like,
you don't.
He was like, "Obviously, it's not really my bag, but like, how could I turn down an opportunity to work with Tom Cruise?"
Did you hear the story about falling off the building?
No.
He was like, "Hey, Tom, I'm really worried about falling off during this big jump with no wires. I've got 2 kids at home." And Tom Cruise looked him dead in the eye and said, "Well, then don't fall off."
Damn. What a fucking Tom Cruise thing to say.
Yeah.
Knowing Tom Cruise, though, he's very safe. I'm sure they were.
No, they were probably
obviously
safe.
they're all
as extremely safe as you could be as jumping without wires across a building and then exploding the building.
That sounds extremely safe. I do that every day.
Yeah, for breakfast. That's how I get my eggs.
It's true. I dive into my plate of my bowl of cereal,
and the toast comes out of the toaster like.
That's true. But Jake Johnson, an actor who I like very much.
Yes.
I was watching New Girl like yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't know how much I fully connect with him in this movie.
I think
this is not a knock against him. I love him.
This is the thing. Like,
and he's doing what the movie is asking of him.
He is doing exactly what the movie is asking, but they never figure out how to balance the action and the seriousness and the humor, which is something that the Brendan Fraser version is like very good at.
Yeah.
Like it's really good at balancing all of those elements in a way that's very entertaining. And then this movie, it's just like, it's like stop, start, stop, start. Like it's like
it's not very funny, is it?
And it's when it's trying to be funny, it's not very funny. And like, yeah, it's like this movie's very confounding because it has a lot of people I really like, but like this particular combination does not work.
No,
Tom Cruise and him don't have very good chemistry. I think. I also think that Tom Cruise's character. We've seen Tom Cruise play very unlikable characters in a very likable way over the years.
Sure.
And this is the first time I've ever seen him just be a grade A dick.
Are you telling me you weren't like moved by the character arc that is Nick Morton?
Where she was like, "You gave me the last parachute," and he's just like, "I thought there were 2."
Yeah. And then
no character growth, no. Like it's a confession, but a crappy one too. Like there's no follow up to that.
This is very much a movie that it is,
which is I think what they're going for. Obviously, by the end is like that's like the big character growth moment is for him to not be a dick, but it also doesn't really.
But also,
it doesn't really like feel like that's the point of the movie, you know?
Like none of it's earned. It's one of those where it's like, just because you're hitting the beats of what are typically a character arc, you actually have to do work in between those in order to earn those moments. Shocker.
Whoa. Okay.
And
this
I
is
just
news to me.
I felt like this movie is like, it's like noisy action sequence into like brief conversation into noisy action sequence, and then it's like 15 minutes of world building.
Yeah.
And then
very generous calling it world building. It's more like a big expo dump.
And then action sequence.
It's like a Hail Mary, really.
And then final set piece, and then movie over.
Yeah.
It's kind of how this movie plays.
Structurally, it's very it's not good.
Yeah,
It's very poorly structured, paced.
I think Cruise again. Cruise, an actor that I love to watch.
Yeah.
We've talked very much like we talked about all the Mission Impossible movies.
Mhm.
Edge of Tomorrow fucking rules. Like
Edge of Tomorrow
he's
does fucking
fantastic
rule.
in Collateral. Like I don't need to.
That Jack Reacher movie is actually, I think, extremely underrated.
That's true. Did you go back?
That one, so I did go back.
I didn't see.
And
that
then that one sucks, but
Okay.
it does all the like. It's like the Jack Reacher movie hits this tier of, I think they wanted something really generic so they could do like a bunch of sequels. It's your classic dad movie that does like it, where you're just like, where did you find this, dad? Like kind of movie. But then that first Jack Reacher movie is actually like really good, and then the second one is exactly what you were afraid that one was going to be.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and then it makes all the classic mistakes. So
fair. But yeah,
hats off to Alan Richardson for taking over that one. But
true.
But I stand by that first Jack Reacher movie as being very
fair,
good. And it's we got McHugh out of that. So
yeah, very and
who
he
also wrote on this one apparently.
Well,
so I have to question him.
Cruise brought him in.
Yes,
is what I've.
He also brought in David Koepp apparently. Who is also credited on here, but it's unclear how much of this is him.
It's unclear who. How much anyone is involved in the making.
Yeah,
of this movie.
there were 3 names on the screenplay that were revealed the week before they released the movie. That was just like, oh wait, hold on, how many people have been writing this movie?
Yeah, and to that point, like Nick Morton as a character is frankly nothing. He has no, as is none of the characters in this movie.
He feels like an AI generated, like, just give me the idea of an adventurer, and it can't decide between several of the elements, so it just puts all of it in the sentence.
It's like you said, Tom Cruise is kind of playing a grade A dick in this, but it's like he's not even
real quote, by the way.
He's not even that, like, he doesn't do anything that.
Well, he sucks, like, as a friend. Like
he's a bad friend.
Because our introduction to him is being like, we've wandered nowhere through, and obviously they're doing the classic, you're gonna get us in trouble, friend. You're the cool guy, I'm the funny one, but I'm the nerd. And then he like cuts his water and says like, you're gonna follow me whether you like it or not, or you'll die in the desert, which I think is a brutal thing. Like, I know, friends razz each other sometimes.
Not like that.
No. But I honestly, like, under the right context, I could see Will Arnett doing this to Jason Bateman, just based on the way they roast each other on Smartless.
Yeah, they do.
Do I dare invoke another podcast on this show? But like, even then you realize, I was just like, that is one of the cruelest things I've ever seen is cutting the guy's water and being like, the only water's down there, so suck it up. And then he hits it and quits it, and then robs Annabelle Wallace, who what's her name again? Is it
Jenny? Jennifer. But they keep calling her Jenny.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Annabelle Wallace because she has genuinely absolutely nothing to do in this movie.
Yeah, no, not a damn thing.
I cannot imagine what it is like to be forced in a situation where you are in a movie that is as big as this, and they give you literally not a passing fucking glance.
Yeah, no, she's like, apparently she was supposed to have a kiss with Tom Cruise, and then he cut it on the day. He just said he wasn't feeling it, and she said she was sad.
Well, because Tom Cruise is a sexless being.
I know, which is funny that we spend most of this movie watching Sofia Boutella like flashback and try to seduce him.
Yeah, and it feels this is not who Cruise is at this moment in his career. He's not handsome. Like, I mean, he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked about this in the Mission Impossible 2 episode where you're like, it doesn't feel right to see this man like trying to do this.
Yeah, be flirt. Like, young Cruise has the kind of like, he's got the head bob kind of thing. And older Cruise, as he gets older, is not this kind of guy, and it feels like it's him pretending to do that, but like, it's kind of like I don't know. It's very hollow, and even his journey, I'm like, I'm not even sure. Like he does the heroic. He brings Annabelle Wallace back to life. Yeah. Which is a good thing to do because
spoilers for the episode if you hadn't figured that out.
Yeah. She is killed and then he brings her back to life by yelling at her. And
then he does the kiss of death to kill her. And interesting.
Yeah, but and that's kind of the most, I mean, he defeats the mummy.
Yes.
But like
with the kiss of death.
But that is also I'm going into this movie expecting Tom Cruise to fight and defeat the mummy.
Yes.
So him doing that is not inherently.
Yeah.
It is obviously a heroic thing to do.
Yeah.
But that is my expectation that he is going to do. So I need more than that.
Yeah.
I need and I think part of it too is that the process in which that sequence takes place is nothing. That sequence is so unsatisfying.
They're running like the whole chase sequence leading up to that ending is bizarre. It's bizarre because I'm like, sorry, like it doesn't feel like a chase actually.
Yeah, well, they're running from
like they're being chased by like all the other mummies.
Templar mummies,
cool. Yes,
into that.
Cool.
A lot of the actual designs of the mummies, I think, are fun.
I will say that the sarcophagus is badass.
Pretty good.
Big fan of the way the sarcophagus looks. I like we've dipped it in a pool of mercury, and I don't understand how the chains are holding it down or up or what, but
I don't know.
I guess it's just sort of dangling it there.
Annabelle Wallace talking about. I like that moment. I think she does a good job.
Yeah. Like the part where he pulled the gun out and you shot the rope.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Remember when
he got
said
cursed and he did that
on last
allegedly.
season that Tom Cruise should have done the Uncharted movies?
Yeah.
If it's this, I don't want it.
I was gonna bring that up at the end of this, but
I'm good.
Yeah, this is like I feel like this was like, I don't know. It's that thing of like, and you say that he like low key maybe directed this. It does feel like he's trying to make up for the part of him that wishes he could have gotten to do that. Like, even though it's like, because that movie still hasn't come out yet, but I think
it's
like he wants to do it, but I feel like he like offered it up. Like, I feel like there was a discussion where like he found out he wasn't going to ever get a shot at that. And then this movie was sort of his attempt to get to do that.
I mean, this is him doing his answer to the cinematic universe. This is him being
true.
like, okay, I won't be a super. I was rumored I was going to play Iron Man like in the 90s and early 2000s. People, for a long time. Well, I don't think he was actively pursuing this, but like, there was people wanting him to play Hal Jordan and like all this other stuff.
He was also offered the Brendan Fraser mummy and he turned it down.
Really?
Yeah, he was up for that part. He said no.
Well, good, because Brendan Fraser is born to play that role.
Which I agree. I think that was a good move on everyone's part.
And so this is, it does feel like it's like, all right, like I'm not going to do a superhero movie. I'm not going to do comic books. Let's do, and he's a big film guy. He obviously like, he's like, all right, like let's do the classic Universal monsters. Let's make that a shared universe. And I'm like, cool, let's go. I honestly, Tom Cruise obviously at the end of this movie defeats Sofia Boutella, gets mummy powers, and becomes the new mummy that we would see in this hypothetical dark universe. That would have continued.
He's the mummy. He has a little bandagey glove sort of thing going on.
Yeah, yay. I thank God.
Oh, that was funny.
That was my thing.
That was real
I'm
time. You saw it here, guys.
I'm like, I love Tom Cruise.
I know.
I don't want Tom Cruise like if it's like an Avengers shot of like Frankenstein's monster and a wolf man and like the Invisible Man. I don't know, his glasses floating in the air, fucking whatever it is. And then
no bandages, just the shades floating next to him, and they're like looking at each other, like,
and it's just like Tom Cruise with 4 pupils, like standing there. I'm like, I don't want that. If you're putting the mummy on a squad, on a team of villains,
if you're doing that, I want Sofia Boutella to be on that team.
I want the fucking bandages and like leg broken and like I want that.
This movie. And again, you said it. I haven't said it yet, but I love watching Tom Cruise in movies. He should not be in this one. This was like casting him was a mistake.
He came on.
Yeah, and like
he was like,
trying to build
I want to do this.
And they're trying to build it around him, and I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah,
because like you said, like if you're doing the big team up shot, I want the bandages. I want the 10,000-year-old mummy, not
the monster.
I want the monster, not Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I'm fine if Tom Cruise is there. Like if he's the if he's the fucking Rick Flag on the Suicide Squad, if he's Captain America being like, if it's Rick O'Connell, like, or whatever.
Honestly,
like,
just having him being an adventurer is like really fun.
I'm okay with that. Like, or fucking, I don't know, dude. Like, if he's Van Helsing or whatever. Like but it is just like I don't want him to be the mummy. I
Yeah.
want the mummy. Like
to be the mummy. Yeah.
that's what's cool. And like if you're gonna, yeah, it's kind of like
Mhm.
Dead on Arrival, like
Yeah.
or Undead on Arrival, if you will.
Oh shit.
Round of applause for me. Thank you.
Whoa.
Everyone on the video just watched me clap for myself. Yeah, like what? Who fucking cares? I'm gonna be honest.
A little bit, yeah.
Um,
I like the idea of him being like the Van Helsing. It actually probably would have been cool if he picked up some Van Helsing stuff in this movie and was like, "I'm gonna go."
I thought Jenny
I'll
was
be
gonna
back.
be related to Van Helsing.
Honestly, that's a missed opportunity. She
well,
probably
'cause
should have been. That would have
her-
been fun. Like, oh yeah, he has to team up with you know,
Yeah,
a next generation Van Helsing and Jekyll, and he has to take on the mummy. Like, honestly, I'm not against any
Her-
of the ideas in this movie. It
her
just doesn't work.
character's name is Jennifer Halsey,
Mhm.
and so
Oh shit, Halsey.
yeah, true. But it's Halsey, and so there is that thing where it's like, it's Halsey feels like a little like you could be like, yeah, like my family, I don't know, changed their name over on Ellis Island. We
Yeah,
were the
she's
Van
like-
Helsings, and we were now the Halseys.
Yeah.
That she's a descendant of
He's
Van
like-
Helsing.
yeah, she's like, well, at some point, someone married the Halseys, and the Van Helsing name has been dormant, but the blood runs through my veins.
Or if like, let's talk about Russell Crowe.
Do we have? No, yeah, we should.
If Prodigium,
This is the part where the movie's actually fun to me, but this is also part of the problem with the movie.
it is also like Dr. Jekyll as like the Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Like it is like Van Helsing is probably the obvious pick for that.
Yeah,
it's
interesting to go with the Dr. Jekyll.
I
'Cause,
was like, okay, yeah, Russell Crowe's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, which is like because we talked about we were talking about this before. This the pitch for this, the goals for this is essentially a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
And that movie, they have a Jekyll and Hyde, and they treat it like the Hulk. Like he's just like a giant monster. So it is interesting that instead of doing the Van Helsing, they're like that guy will be the Nick Fury.
It's also like when we get, he's playing Dr. Jekyll, and he's playing it he's playing it straight. He's doing I'm a good man, blah blah blah. This is all my stuff, and I don't have a problem with any of that. He turns into Mr. Hyde.
Yes,
because he fails to put together the most complicated,
as Dish puts it, Mr.
Antidote.
Dehydrated Hyde.
Yes, yeah, or yeah, actually, yes, thank you, I did.
Yes. You didn't say it? Who said
I
that?
said it.
Oh, you said it?
I said he's.
I'm taking it away. Dish, you said it now.
He's Russell Crowe and then becomes slightly dehydrated Russell Crowe.
Damn.
It is one of those things where I'm like, I was thinking of the LXG like he becomes a Hulk, and it is like that in a modern superhero context. Like it's like, oh sure, you make Mr. Hyde the Hulk. I'm open to that. But also,
Yeah.
I'm like, I looked up like what he's like in the books, and it's like,
Yeah, in
his-
the book, he's not like a Hulk.
his hair grows out. He's smaller. Like the whole thing is that Jekyll's clothes don't fit on Hyde. That it's like looser.
Yeah.
And then he's like sunken in and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, bro. If Russell Crowe turned into like a fucking goblin, that would be awesome.
That would be.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna do the Wolfman, that's your Hulk.
Exactly. Actually, these very good points.
And so have Mr. Hyde be like I don't know, the weird fucking gross one that's like chain smoking cigars and like burning them into people's heads.
No
and shit.
cigars. This
Like,
was an opportunity to have a big guy in a coat also. And
There's
just no big guy in a coat.
such a severe lack of
Yes.
big guys in coats
I want
and
to.
little guys in shades.
He's not in this movie or has nothing to do with this, but I did want to bring up, because I don't think we've talked about it. I do think we need to add Bruno Mars to the little guy in Shades Club. I don't know if we've talked about that at all in this
No,
show.
we haven't.
But I was listening to music on the way over, and I just was like, Bruno Mars is a little guy in Shades. So
that's true.
I just want to, before we get too deep into Russell Crowe's performance in this movie, just want to,
I'm open to
induct
putting
Bruno Mars
in there.
into that real quick.
Yeah, we could put him in there. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets
Yeah.
to do that.
He'll catch a grenade for you.
That's
He'll,
true. He does do that.
He'll do nothing today.
Yeah.
That's the quote.
I don't know I know it's like I'm always like, I don't really know any Bruno Mars songs, and then a song will come on and I'll be singing it. I'm like, oh, I do know a lot of Bruno Mars songs. But yeah, Crow is like Hyde is a bit of a wasted up. Like there's that moment in the fight scene
Yeah.
when they, Nick Morton, our famous Nick Morton,
Yes.
puts
Very bold of Tom Cruise to decide his name was going to be Nick, and then cast like a famous Nick, and put him like right next to him in every part of the movie.
I agree. It is weird that he constantly is calling him Nick too, so you just can't get it out of your head.
That was also a bad move.
But there's that moment where Tom Cruise, he puts Russell Crowe's hand on like the keypad to open up the door, and it recognizes it as Mr. Hyde, right? Yeah. And it like won't open, and he does that whole like, "They won't open the door for me, love," whatever. That is the moment where you his hand goes up, you Sam Raimi smash in, and he's got like fingernails that are like 6 inches long.
Yeah.
The hair is like dark and like curled, and he's got like fucking purple and green veins, and it's like, make it gross, and it's just fucking Russell Crowe's hand.
Just Russell Crowe.
It's like I'm open to it. I like the voice.
Voice is fun.
Voice is kind of fun.
Voice is fun. He's having a little fun there, but I didn't think he's having enough fun.
I don't think the movie's having enough fun.
You got me there.
I think that's the problem. It's like this movie is like you said, it's not a very good adventure movie because adventure movies like having fun.
It's missing the swashbuckling part, and again, because I also in preparation for this one, I watched the original one, the 1932.
Yes, you were telling me about this.
I might have that wrong, but the Boris Karloff version.
Yes,
who's coming hot off of Frankenstein. That movie's it's a lot of people in rooms talking, but
heck yeah.
But like, so it's like, even going back to like the source material for this, because this is one of the Mummy franchise is one of the rare exceptions where this is not based on a book.
Yeah,
the Mummy movies were based on just like, because we had finally cracked open the pyramids and found mummies, and everyone had mummy fever, and they were like, well, let's do Dracula but with a mummy, like, because people are into Egypt and stuff right now, and so it basically is loosely like a version of Dracula with the like undead, like, I need to bring my girl back from and everything. So, which it's, the Brendan Fraser movie is very like 1-to-1 on a lot of that stuff. It just, it's just adding the swashbuckling adventure aspect that the original one doesn't have. Cause it's a lot of, people in rooms talking and close-ups of Boris Karloff being like spooky, but it's a lot of atmosphere and like mood than it is like, there's not a lot of actual action in that movie.
Sure. Likely. Yeah.
But like, it's like they're not even like borrowing like the key elements from like the original. It's like there's an opportunity to go back to like the very like core values of the thing and be like, okay, let's deconstruct it a little bit. And it's like a weird grab bag in this movie of stuff that is like adjacent to what the Brendan Fraser one is doing.
You spot the book from Mummy?
I did. I had a lot of questions about that. There's no trivia on that.
Was in it.
That's the book, right?
That's the book. Yeah.
Were there plans to make this canon with the Brendan Fraser movie, or it's just a fun Easter egg? Okay.
I think it's just like we'll reference the other one.
Yeah. Really funny.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
In terms of other kind of quality of film stuff, I will say like, not only is the movie not particularly funny, and not only is the action just kind of a lot of noise, the movie doesn't look bad, but it's quite dark at times when when Sophia Boutella comes back and she's like killing all the red shirts, I feel like I can barely see any of it. Like I don't know if that was anyone else's experience, but I just couldn't help but like, I don't know, this is 2017, right? So that we're still kind of in this era like of like things being lit so flatly. Yeah. And the Fraser mummy, the Stephen Sommers mummy, it's like has these like beautiful, the golden, lighting in the sets, and like they're having fun with the shadows and leaning into like some of that original 30s kind of monster movie, like aesthetic at times. And this one is just like an action movie.
It's like a really bland action movie. Though there's like some creepy stuff.
The Mission Impossible movies look way better than these movies.
They do. They look a lot better than this one. A lot of the Transformer movies I think look better than this one.
100%.
It's just like they don't do the adventure part, but like, okay, the original one is like technically horror. The horror is not particularly good. It has like undead zombies and stuff, but it's still, again, like you said, it's just like an action movie. So it's like you're not doing any of the things associated with this. They're barely in Egypt. Like we start off in like
they actually make a point to say that they don't bury the mummy in Egypt.
They're like, we had to bury it elsewhere. So I guess they bury her in Iraq, and then like the Knights Templar, like the movie starts in England, primarily takes place in England. Bold choice for a mummy movie.
True.
We'll see if Lee Cronin does any better taking it outside of Egypt.
I don't know if we're in luck on that one.
I don't
we'll see.
think we'll be in luck, but
we'll find out next week.
We'll find out next week. Yeah. But it's just this.
It's just
It doesn't work as a cinematic universe. It doesn't. It doesn't even work as a Tom Cruise movie. Like minimum. Like
this might also be maybe we move a little bit in terms of rewatchability and stuff like this. Like how this movie, you find yourself kind of washes over you.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's the most in one ear out the other kind of movie.
Yeah,
I full-heartedly agree with that. If they ever for some reason we are doing another one, then maybe I might check it out again. But you would be dragging me kicking and screaming for that. Well, I think a little bit. You know?
I would go see it, but for the reason that we are currently covering it on this podcast, so we would have an obligation to go see it because we discussed it on this show.
I will watch another one of these out of morbid curiosity, but rewatching this one, probably not.
It's kind of like the Halloween thing of like
possibly clips, but more out of curiosity and like a really trying to dissect why this movie doesn't work.
I did watch clips of this movie before seeing this like a year ago because it like came up on my, you know how like TikTok you'll be scrolling through and it's like a clip of a movie and then suddenly in the background you hear like Tom Cruise is really upset at Russell Crowe and it'll be like in like really low level dialogue. But I like saw some of those and I was like, okay, what the fuck is this thing? But in terms of rewatchability, it is like a little bit like the Halloween movies that we talked about, where it's like, if I'm going to put on The Mummy, I'm going to watch the Brendan Fraser Mummy. If you're going to do an action adventure reboot of The Mummy, which I'm not opposed to. I'm not like, how I love that movie, but I don't know if I would say that movie is particularly sacred. Like, I don't think you have to.
Wait, sorry, which Mummy?
The 99 one.
The 91? Yeah.
Like, it's like, I love that movie, but it's not, like, I'm like, if you're redoing The Mummy, I'm not, like, clutching my pearls, like, how dare you remake, you know, it's not like, it's not one of those. I say
not
with
me
love
in 2017 being like, how fucking dare you? No.
But, like, if you want to try something, like this new one with Lee Cronin, I'm like, yeah, sure, you want to try and take a new take, have a director have a take on The Mummy and, like, do a different thing? Fuck it, sure.
Yeah, anything can work, right?
Yeah, anything can work and should have the opportunity to work. Like people should allow a movie to have its own perspective.
Allow a movie to be good.
Yeah. Why don't we? Hey,
but will it?
You ever thought about making your movie good? But
thought about it once or twice.
Yeah. With this, I'm like, if you're going to remake it, show me something that I haven't seen before, and I feel like this movie doesn't really make any case for that.
No.
Sofia Boutella tries her best with what she's given. She has great physicality. I don't mind the look. I think it's like, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
I bumped the mic a little bit.
I like her like regenerated look when she comes out and she's looking like
I like some of the stuff with the birds.
Very Resident Evil. Yeah, some of the birds.
Like when she's doing the curse at the beginning of the movie and all the birds that are hanging are like, you know, start
I mean,
moving.
honestly, when she's doing the like ritual thing and then like the set, I guess I'm assuming set shows up in behind her. That part was really cool. I thought that was really interesting.
But that's the first 5 minutes of the movie.
First 5 minutes of the movie. Which honestly, like for a lot of this movie, I was like, okay. It pretty much is like the end where I just went, okay, so this is nothing.
Yeah, so the ending. So as we said, Tom Cruise brings Annabelle Wallis back to life.
Yes, by yelling at her.
Yes.
And then he kisses the mummy to death.
And then he sits in the shadow and he's like, I don't know what I've become. And then he fucks off.
I really was like, what does he look like? And then it cut to him with Nick Miller in the desert, like at the start, and he's just.
But he's got the bandages on his wrist.
Bandages on his hands. He's got a glove.
And probably already only there.
That's probably it, yeah. And he was hiding in the shadows. Like I really thought he was going to have a Dr. Jekyll look too. That he was going to be like, ugh.
Well, there's the moment where he flashes, right? And his teeth get crazy or whatever. I have a screenshot of it.
Do you? Please show.
I'm going to show it to you right now.
We'll throw it on the screen.
So there's that brief moment where he shows up like this. That is his that's his look. He's got kind of the face tats. He's got the eyes, but also like
he's got the substance eyes going.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Tom Cruise is the guy to do that stuff.
No, again, it's like this is again.
I mean, I guess he was. He's played a vampire.
Yes. True.
So it's not completely foreign, but like it just feels, again, it's like the thing of like, if I want to see the Mummy, I want to see like I want to see the whole thing. I don't want
Yeah.
to like see Tom Cruise like just kind of like jump extra high.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't really do anything for me.
Mhm.
But so Nick, I was gonna say Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
He's killed early in the movie.
Yep.
He does the American Werewolf in London thing with
Yep.
his makeup, which is, it looks good, but it is American Werewolf in London
Yeah.
coded very, very
I've never
much.
seen that, but I saw the thing in there. It's like that's a direct reference to it.
Looks,
Which
it is
it's like in theory very fun, but also why are we doing it in the Mummy movie? Maybe
Also
save
just
that for the werewolf movie.
now you got me thinking of a better movie. But
The bold invoking the powers of better movies.
it's also, what's tough about that is that he then kind of loses his humor because he's like a specter.
Yeah, it's like is
So
he,
now
is he
the
a
funny guy
manifest-
isn't funny anymore.
Well, yeah, it's like he seems to be only appearing because he's a servant of Sofia Boutella's mummy,
Yeah.
but he
What is
acts.
her name?
Uh,
I'm looking it up.
because like I want to keep calling her a Nox on a Moon, but that's just what she is in every other movie.
Aminette.
Yeah, Aminette. Which fine. She doesn't have to be any of the. She doesn't have to be an Emotep. She doesn't have to be a Nox
No,
on the Moon. That's
no.
totally fine. No problems there. Because she can be a mummy from a different year. They can, there were kind of a lot of those mummies. But yeah, it's like he becomes like a servant of her. Presumably his body is just obliterated in the plane crash. So now he's supposed to like act as like his like guilt, but he mostly is like a mouthpiece for Aminette.
Yeah.
So it's like he can't really be, Nick. Is it Nick Miller? Is that what is his last name again?
Jake Johnson.
No, that's Nick Miller.
Oh, what is his character's name?
What is
in
Tom
the
Cruise's Nick? Is he?
Nick Morton.
Nick
Dave,
Morton.
how could we forget
Morton
Nick Morton?
Salt.
How could we
can I
forget
Nick Morton?
Our great
I
American hero.
I wore a blue shirt in
Nick
honor of
Morton.
Nick Morton, and it's not giving me any help on this episode.
Remember when he dies and comes back to life, and then he goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like no
Yeah.
fucking reaction.
No reaction.
It's like, I don't know. I woke up in a body bag.
Yeah, they're like, we need help identifying the bodies, and they're just like, oh,
I have
Ruby Roo.
no. I'm happy.
Um,
Just moving on.
Yep, we're just gonna
No
breeze right past that.
questions.
You had a toe tag, my man.
But he brings back Jake Johnson.
Yeah, at the very end, he brings him back, and just so he can presumably keep bullying him.
It's
'Cause that's what it feels like.
one of the dullest endings I've ever seen.
And it's like I feel like they're trying to do this like Lawrence of the Arabia Superman thing as he harnesses the power of the mummy into the sunset. And I took a photo of my face and sent it in the chat, and maybe we'll put it
Yes.
in this episode. Do you think we should?
I think we
post
should.
that, or maybe we'll post it on social media. Maybe both.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop my face from making that face.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
I was very like flabbergasted by this movie and its ending.
What sucks about it, like not in terms of like what makes it bad, but it does make it bad, but like what is hard to watch with it is that a movie that cost $125 million, or whatever you said,
Yep.
that
125.
Jake Johnson has to get on screen and go, by the way, I'm alive now. Thank you.
Yeah, that
Like-
felt like a reshoot almost. Like
It is completely, it is like, how are we giving exposition with 2 minutes left in the movie? Like how,
Yeah.
like, I know it's not technically exposition, but like how
Yeah.
are, like, it feels like the movie's covering its ass.
trying to, yeah.
And also with love to Jake Johnson, like you don't need to bring him back. Also, like maybe he's just still
In his head.
in his head.
I don't know.
That could be fun. Like,
yeah, well, it's like
and then Tom Cruise gets to play a weirdo amongst the other monsters and is like talking to a guy that's not
that-
there.
honestly, that would have been better if he was just stuck with him and he was like, no, but it's like, so he has the power of life and death, which, okay, so I have to, we do need to break down he has the powers of the god Set, who they keep calling the god of death.
Yes.
That's not what Set is in Egyptian mythology.
What is
One,
the god of?
he's the god of like chaos and war.
Okay.
Which still works for the movie, so I don't know why you don't just keep that. And
I
he
don't
does
know
have
much
the
about it.
ability to like bring things back from the dead. That is like an ability he has. But Anubis is the god of
That's
death,
right. Yeah.
like quite literally. So, but like also in the context of Egyptian mythology, Set like goes around and he like helps with the harvest. Like he's part of the seasons and stuff. Like he does plant life mostly. So it's like, you know, we're not like that is a little splitting hair. I don't want to be one of those guys shouting at Christopher Nolan because they're not wearing authentic Greek armor.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
But like, you know, why? Like, I don't know. It's just you give him the powers of Set, and then like he just yells at her to bring her back, and then like, how did he bring back Jake Johnson? Like, there's no body. Did he find the body and then he yelled at the body, or
Dave,
did he just yelled at the dirt and he appeared?
It doesn't.
I want to know.
It doesn't matter because he waved at us. He said, "I'm back."
That's true. You're right.
And we were like, "Thank God, our favorite character checks letterboxed. Chris Vale has returned.
Chris Vale, bold.
Thank God, Chris Vale is back.
That was my favorite part of the movie.
When Chris Vale came back,
I clapped.
I fucking clapped.
I clapped. I stood up
when I saw it.
I said, "Give me a Wolfman."
And then
give me a Dracula. Tell me if he's untold or not.
It ends with them.
Was he told or untold? I don't know. I didn't see the movie.
From the titles, it's untold because you go in, you go, "Oh, I'm gonna see Dracula Untold" because I haven't watched it, and then at the end, you go, "Oh, they told me."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, based on the premise, I think they told that part in the Francis Ford Coppola version at the beginning. But
that's true.
You know, so I think it's been said, but I could be wrong.
Tom Cruise and Nick Morton and Chris Vale.
Iconic pieces of cinema in the cinematic characters in the 21st century.
Han Solo and Chewbacca. Fucking
Iron Man and Rhodey.
Fucking the two Blues Brothers. I don't know why I'm forgetting classic name. I don't know. And then Nick Morton and Chris Vale. They ride off on horses.
You know, Elwoods and Bruiser.
So true. It's actually so true. But they
ride off into the sunset.
Cruise has the sandstorm following him.
He's got the sandstorm powers from the 99 version.
A bit of a fun detail, I suppose. But when it ends, I go, yeah, but like if this movie is an hour and 50 minutes of every 10 minutes, me going, that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
and then just like, oh yeah, sand is made of glass. Or glass is made of sand. That's kind of funny. It turns into sand.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh my gosh, there's my favorite guy, Nick Vale. Chris Vale. Fuck. See, I can't even do the bit.
Say it with conviction, Matt.
I like if that's all the movie is, like, again, like, who cares? Like, what are you? This movie isn't like taking enough of a swing. It's just like,
it's like I said, it's like a soft bunt into an out of bounds territory.
Like
it's not
failing
even
at being a 6.
Yeah,
like that's rough, bro.
Yeah,
like I'm sorry. Like,
it's got me like Jesus.
I feel like my energy is me like looking at the movie in the face and be like, dude, what is up? Are you okay?
Yeah, you have a lot of things that could work. Like, I mean, I'm not even against any of the ideas in this movie, but like,
no, it's just
really,
hollow.
it's just, it doesn't, they don't, I really am at a loss of like why it does. Like, there's elements that end up like working against itself, but like on paper that should work.
Well, is that like the 1999 Mummy, and we talked about this last week, where it's like, that movie does not reinvent anything, but it does all the basics really well, and it remembers to have fun, and it allows the characters to have moments. The bit where, you know, Evie, I am a librarian, like all that stuff. Benny is very
great
fun.
Character moments.
Like they're allowing you to like enjoy yourself. God forbid a movie have you know what I mean, like a blockbuster have you enjoy yourself. And this movie is so focused on this is the start of the dark universe.
It is.
That like
it doesn't tell a good Mummy movie. It's just a Hail Mary for the dark universe. At the end of the day.
It should, like, part of what makes
it's a movie that's all narrative runway without any substance behind it.
Yeah, well, do we want to talk about narrative runway?
I
guess we're kind of
probably that point in the
conversation.
Yeah, like it's just like it's a movie that's all about setting up the narrative runway without doing the narrative.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it does, I guess, but it's done in the most hollow,
when we talk
and blandest of ways.
When we talk about narrative runway in the context of this show, right? As we've described it before, is like, does this movie set up plot threads that you want to see explored? Does it give you characters that you want to see again? Does it give you themes that you think could be evolved or explored, or new themes that could be explored?
Okay,
and
so we should take those like one at a time. So,
are there plot threads that you want to see explored?
Plot threads, yes. That I want to see explored, morbidly, I suppose.
It's
Char-
like, yeah, characters that you want to see continue.
Are
you ready to see Chris Vail,
Nick
Nick
Vale,
Morton?
and Chris Miller?
Yeah, fucking Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Do you want to see Phil Lord and Chris Miller return?
Okay, I absolutely would watch Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the
Yeah.
directors in this movie. No, not really. I'm not particularly interested in
Because you
anything
don't get
Tom
a
Cruise
chance
is
to
doing in
have
this
any
movie.
fun with any of them.
No, not really.
And
I
then
think they try. They try really hard, but it all falls flat.
and then these aren't, these are summer blockbusters that like
Yeah.
don't really communicate through theme, which is fine. Like I don't need every movie to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of a non-starter with a movie like with this movie. And yeah, in terms of plot threads, like yes, you've set up Prodigium, a name that somehow I will remember until the end of my days. You've set that up. You have we're sending in our scores right now.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry, I
sending
didn't
in
mean to throw you
mine.
with that one. Yeah.
No, it's fine. Your
Oh, just looking at this is this is why we do the show, guys.
It's true. Prodigium, you're setting up an organization that it's like we cover monsters, but
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, you've set something up, but like
They're
I
the
don't
organization from
feel-
Hellboy.
I don't feel like I need them to live on. You know what I mean? It's like that is almost a character within itself,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know what the fuck they're what they work in like an abandoned brewery, like, and they have
Sipping
shelves. I'd rather
few
just
small beers.
we could just a few small beers.
A few small beers. Just a few small beers.
Will the Oscars be done by the time this episode comes out?
Are they in March or
March 15th, right?
Well, so
I think the Grammys just
yeah.
happened.
yeah.
The Grammys
that's
did just
music.
happen.
So at
for
the
us.
time that this
Yeah.
comes out, they will have been done for a minute. So we will be long past that.
Remember
so.
when Benicio was the Wolfman?
Yeah. Yes. I still have never watched that movie, and I really want to actually.
Joe Johnston directed it.
I know, that's why I want to watch
fucking
it.
crazy.
I've heard it's fun, and I'm like, I feel like I don't know. I think it's like that thing of like the part that they could have probably picked up with the Dark Universe, harnessing the Brendan Fraser and the Benicio version, and it would have worked a lot better. But I
Well,
mean, obviously they want to have their own clean slate where they can do whatever. But I honestly feel like there's probably more love for that in retrospect.
It's like when Stephen Sommers pitches The Mummy, he's like, what if Indiana Jones fought the Mummy? And it's like, cool. And then this one, it's like, what if there was a dark universe? And it's like, I don't really know what the fuck that is.
Yep. It's a
and
bunch
they're
of words above the earth.
And they're like, don't worry, we'll tell you. And then they give us a movie that's really bland.
Yeah.
Are you ready to move into the We Need One score? And
I think we're ready.
And we're all gonna give it
Is
3
this
out
a
of
we know what
3s.
score? Is this like a firing squad?
We're well. I think we've all been pretty. There's a big consensus. This is making the board, right?
Yeah, we're gonna give
Let's
it.
make the
We're
Hall
all
of
gonna
Fame?
give it our extra points to get it in there. Make it the highest rated one.
Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I think you should start. I think I've been kind of taking shots at this movie the whole episode, so I think I'll let you start.
He's already seen my score, so he knows. Narrative runway. This is getting no points for me.
Okay.
I think just because narrative runway is not just, to me, the setting of the dominoes. It's not just the physical act of doing it.
Yeah.
You have to
care about it.
You have to care about it
You
in
have to
order
care
for there
about
to
it
be
for it to
actual runway into it, because
I
you
might have
want
to
the
adjust my
audience
score as
to
you
come
say
back.
that.
So because of that, I don't give a fuck about Prodigium. I love Chris Vail, but like Nick Morton is, whatever. And like I don't care about these characters. I know nothing about them. I have no enjoyment through them.
Yeah, we really don't get a backstory on them. Which, I mean, I guess to be fair, we don't technically have a lot of backstory for like Brendan Fraser's character, but we also do.
But you like hanging out with him.
This is true. This is a big distinction.
I feel like hanging out with Nick Morton would suck.
Well, yeah, apparently he'll just slash your water tank in the middle of a desert and tell you to go
He's
stop
not
being
even
a bitch.
fun asshole.
It is, which is hilarious because Tom Cruise's whole like foundation of his career is taking assholes and making them likable.
Yeah.
And
I love a likable
all of
asshole.
his prestige, like his prestigious career, he finally found a way to make an asshole just an asshole.
So it's like I don't I have no connection to want to see these characters again. The universe that it's built up is not a universe. They've just been like, by the way, there's a secret organization.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't, okay, fucking every movie in 2017 is a secret organization that like is going to show up. Why do I care about this one? So it holds no narrative runway for me. Rewatchability, I do not give it a point as well. Because rewatchability insinuates that I am seeking to experience these set pieces again. Yeah. As I said, this is a movie that I believe is a in one ear, out the other movie. Yeah, so I'm forgetting about it.
I think that's fair. Even their best set piece, the 0G Vomit Comet plane stuff, is kind of whatever.
And also, I was saying this. I'll credit Blank Check. I was hearing them talk about this with on their Patreon. They have a Mummy episode for this movie, and they brought up the great point that if the highlight of your marketing for The Mummy is a plane sequence, you kind of fucked up, dude.
Probably, yeah. That seems to be the logical
The Mummy
conclusion.
Should be relatively involved and not just birds.
Possibly, yeah.
Because there's a plane sequence in The Summer's Mummy, but they are being chased by the mummy.
By a plane getting chased by a big face of sand?
Big sandstorm, which
big
is
sand
cool.
Face. Pretty cool. Not enough sand making faces.
So I'm not seeking to rewatch this because, like, I'm not really enjoying it. It's just kind of happening in front of me.
Fair enough.
And then in terms of quality of film, I gave it half a point.
Okay.
I think it is adequately shot. The CGI is fine. I think some of the sets are interesting. Or nice to see, right?
The set designs are good.
Yeah.
Production design's doing their job.
It's one of those, like, and this is not it. Look, movies are made by thousands of people. I don't mean to, like, I will be critical of movies. We will be critical of movies, but that is never critical of the artists who make them. This shit is hard.
It's incredibly hard, yeah.
We've done it on very small scales, and it's hard on that level.
It is very hard on that level, and it only gets worse when you have more people.
My umbrage that I take of, like, what the fuck are you doing, is not with the actual craftspeople, but it is with the people who are at the top, who are greenlighting these decisions and are like, let's, who gives a fuck, blah, blah, blah. Like, that shit. That is the stuff that I fight against. So I think there's craft that is going into this. I like the actors, but I think they're fine. You know what I mean? It gets a half point in the sense of, like, it is an hour and 50 minutes. I'm not ever bored or hating that I'm watching it, but I also don't feel anything. So this gets, I think, the lowest score I've ever given, which is a 0.5 out of 3.
Damn.
Not to be so searing with it, but
yeah.
But if I'm being honest, like, that is how I feel, like, based on the criteria that we have for this show.
Yeah, I thought long and hard, and then I know I've been taking shots the whole time, so I was a little generous with my score. But I also am giving it a, like, 0.5 for quality. Well, yeah, 0.5 for quality. Basically for all the same reasons you have just mentioned. I'm giving it another 0.5 for narrative runway, because unfortunately they're hitting you over the head with it all. But to your point, I'm not really enjoying it. So it's like, I'm giving it because that's where I started with it, but I feel like I should take it back a little bit. But it's got, this is a 1 out of 3 for me. And it's because it got 0.5 in 2 of the categories. Rewatchability, I'm giving no points. I have no burning desire to rewatch this. Like you said, if I'm going to watch one, I'm just going to watch the Brendan Fraser one.
You're not giving me anything that
I went at nauseum last week about how much I love that movie. And like, it's again, like, it's like, I don't want to necessarily see that again. And this movie cherry picks some of the best ideas for that and then does it worse in this movie. And then the stuff that it's bringing new to the table is also not good. And theoretically it could be, but they don't stick the landing even remotely with the stuff that they're bringing into it. And so it's just a very, very disappointing package for what could have been a very interesting universe. But this movie kind of fails at everything it has to be. So yeah, this is a 1 out of 3 for me.
Dish,
do you want to chime in? Is it time for Dish's Corner?
Dish's Corner.
Let's all see what Dish says. Let's see what he's cooking. Just did that
It's
off
the
the
official
cuff.
theme song for Dishes
That was good. You better remember that.
You're gonna be doing it every fucking week.
Yeah.
I know.
You better.
I'd have to do it every time.
Yeah, this movie was okay. The whole time I was watching it, and I texted you guys about it, but I was like, I can't decide if this movie is good, and I can't decide if it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a lot of parts, and I think you guys called the majority of them out. Like, there's some fun things in it. I was mentioning, actually, as didn't mention, just before we started recording, I mentioned, I think that the curse feels pretty original. The whole, like, who the mummy is, the lore, and I'm almost like, just give us the movie from back then.
Sure.
Honestly, yeah.
Give us that movie.
I would watch just her
becoming the mummy. Give me the prequel. Just that. And it was interesting. Like they did well, but then there's those things like you don't really like all the characters. I think for me the big one was the second parachute deal because that was cold, and I feel like even as a dirtbag you just lie your way through that one. But like you deserve to be the eternal death man and hate your life forever because you're an absolute dirtbag, and it's like you don't like him. And I think obviously I've become such a fan of like the Mission Impossible movies from what we did in season 1, and it's like I like Tom Cruise. I really wanted to like this movie.
Same. I remember when the movie came out, I wanted to be excited for it.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
But I just hate the character. Like he's just a jerk. And I think for me that was like one of the big parts. If he had just like gone with it and they just let him be the guy that helped her, it's like I don't know what the finesse is that you need to have to make a hateable main character.
Yeah.
Or a lovable character that's easy to hate, maybe.
Yeah.
But he's not lovable if he's just a dirtbag. Like there's no redeeming factor that you're like, oh no, he's a mad genius who's a jerk or whatever. You know, like it's like
he doesn't seem like he's good at his job.
Wait,
too.
we're talking about Nick Morton?
Yeah.
We're
yes, 100%.
We don't like Nick Morton? Is that what's going on?
So the other factor for me, why the heck is he a treasure hunter?
It's too much. Like military, but I also sell things on the black market. It's like has no real pertinence to anything.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sold. So I just didn't believe the like I'm in the military, but I actually like am miles away from where I'm supposed to be stealing stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden you're also a guy that's like, what is it? Haman or hummus? Hamnar? Like it's an H word that means treasure or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It means like unknown knowledge or something, right? And there's a huge deal. And it's like, how does he know that? Just because he's a treasure hunter? Well, at least with Jenny, it was kind of like somewhat substantiated where it was like she kind of like studied this or whatever.
Yeah. Well, the implication of that scene is that he has the curse of the mummy. And so he has like her thoughts or she's in his head. So now he understands a lot of it, I guess. But
no, even before that, like at the beginning of the movie, right? When he has the treasure, like how does he know that means treasure?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what is his background? Military guy? And it is just generically military guy. It's not like, oh, he's an officer, he's like special ops, and he's like supposed to be.
We don't even know what branch of the military he's supposed to be.
He is just military guy, and I think that's lazy.
Like presumably he's some kind of Marine, but I'm like, I don't know if that's what he is. You know?
And then also that
they apparently have the ability to call in airstrikes, but like.
And him and Vale are partnered together.
And
Vale is clearly not sold on the treasure hunting thing.
No, he seems like he's been bullied into this really badly.
Exactly, and it's like I feel like if you were in the military and this guy's doing this much stuff that's going to get you guys in trouble, and you're not bought in, then you're like, I'm telling on you. Like,
I think
I don't know.
It's also like Tom Cruise's character doesn't even seem to be particularly clever about the stuff he's doing and trying to get away with it. So I'm almost like a little bit like shame on you, Jenny, for even falling for any of this.
Like Courtney B. Vance fucking calls him out.
Yeah, Courtney B. Vance like cuts right through to him and was just like, nuh-uh.
They all smell the bullshit. So he's clearly not good at any of this.
I just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so I will say I tried to go in the movie with a super open mind, and I was like, I want to like it. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of horror in general, so the new one looking even scarier and not having Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
We're going to see. I will say CGI looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I thought it was really good. I think there were some good performances. I think you guys mentioned the glass to sand vibe in London. That was fun. Something I don't think I've seen. But I think you guys called it out in the kind of the verbiage that I would give it to the movie is that it's just not interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you said in one ear and out the other as you just watch this movie. It's just not interesting. Like I feel like it needed some connection or something a little bit more, but I won't claim to know what that is to fix it or
Yeah.
make it that much better. But I think it's best that our score aligns with what happened in the future because there was no sequel, right?
No,
No,
we should.
officially the world was
It-
canceled.
It was the minimum bar for us to get a sequel on this show. The number is 6, right? It's above a 6. I just want to make that clear because
Make it very clear where we're at.
because
Already?
above a 6 is the official. We need one more for this podcast.
Yeah.
So
Seal of approval.
how how close would you say
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
close to that number? Right? I don't mean to be so condescending. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because you give it a 0.5, I would get a 1. What did you give it, Dish? What was your number out of 3?
It is a 1.
It is
So
a
this
1, okay.
gets a 2
So
and a
somewhere
half.
about 6. Oh,
This
and a
gets a
half.
2.5 out of 10, and
That's-
2.5 out of 10.
that is just
that-
all she wrote.
That
honestly,
might be. Is that the lowest score we've ever seen on this show?
It's one of them.
It's
It's
definitely
up there.
down there. I know this movie is one of the second lowest rated Tom Cruise movies,
Yikes.
just after Cocktail, which is his lowest.
Mm,
Which on that
I've
note,
not seen Cocktail.
I have not seen Cocktail, but I did text you a pitch for it.
You did.
It makes me want to watch it so I can justify this pitch. Maybe I'll share it in the show. I'm going for a color of money vibes on this one.
into it.
But
But that is the movie. That is our
So-
score.
wow,
That
It
is
is
the
final.
Mummy?
That is the Mummy.
that is The Mummy. It's funny. I always read trivia after every movie, and one of the things that happened is with this one, and they admitted later, this movie was like doomed from the beginning. I don't know if you know this story, but
Cool.
they basically all the writers they had tapped to
So-
take a no. So
that
here it
really
is.
slipped out.
Yeah, I know. It's well, so apparently, like I think it was Alex Kurtzman. I'm struggling to find the exact thing right now, but basically, they had a bunch of like great writers and people who had worked on a bunch of stuff that had like, you know, some heat going, and they got them all tapped to do different parts of this. Someone was going to do Frankenstein, someone was going to do a Dracula, and you know, Alex Kurtzman was doing the Mummy. They all got those guys together to like plan out what the whole thing was going to be.
Yeah.
And it was one of the longest, most grueling sessions that ended in, you know what? Maybe we just take this one at a time and see what happens and play it by ear. That was how the meeting went. No one could agree on anything long term at all. Like there was just, they could not
Right.
agree on anything. It was like flat out from the first meeting, they just didn't know what to do. So Alex Kurtzman and his people just said, well, let's just try to make something kind of out there and oddball and see what sticks.
Right.
And I think the
Oddball
answer to
is
that
how I describe this movie.
was nothing. Nothing stuck.
It unfortunately
Maybe Crow. Maybe
does not. Again,
maybe Dr. Jekyll. I don't know.
We're talking a lot of shit on this episode, but like, I look. I don't know, man. Look, sometimes these things work, sometimes they don't. You know what I mean? Like-
you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
A Tom Cruise Mummy movie. It's one of those things where like, again, it's guacamole on ice cream. Where I'm like, I wanna love that shit. Like I wanna
Yeah.
be able to, but like, it doesn't come together, man.
No, this one does not come together in any way, shape, or form.
Which is why they decided to do the smart thing.
Mhm.
Let's drop the budget on these. Let's go back to the horror roots. We'll do The Invisible Man, which
Mhm.
that movie's very
that movie's
fun.
pretty good.
And
a good
then
time.
next week is that version. They're doing that with
They're
with
doing
the Mummy.
their reboot of the Dark Universe.
They're trying it again, almost 10 years later.
10 years. Oh God, I guess it is 10 years later.
Yes, I thought about
Oh
it.
wow! I'm
while
like
watching
I
this
like
movie.
age. I do a chuckle
Yeah,
and
you
hide age
fucking-
and do it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So we will see how it goes. I mean, I
Yeah.
like.
Are you feeling optimistic about Lee Cronin's The Mummy?
I'm hopeful. I don't really know what I'm expecting. To be honest,
Only thing
we've had one trailer
We've had one trailer.
that's pretty vague,
I feel like the internet's a little
iffy.
iffy. They're not necessarily outright like not excited, but I think most people are sort of confounded by it. I feel like this movie's pitch being like we want to do 7 but The Mummy, and I'm like, ooh, this
Is that the pitch of the movie?
that's the pitch is they're doing we're doing 7 but The Mummy.
okay.
We're in an
Something
era
different.
kind of, but also like there's a lot of movies that have just come out that have that pitch. Like that was the pitch for Pat's Batman, the Batman. It was like, what if we did
Zodiac,
like we
put
do
the Batman.
Zodiac and 7, and there's like 2 or 3 more that were like we're just doing 7.
Jungle
essentially.
Cruise,
So
right?
yeah, I think Jungle Cruise was trying to do a version of 7. No, so I find myself a little weary to be like, oh, this is like the fourth pitch where they just threw 7 is like part of the take on it. So I'm not feeling very optimistic. I've also heard James Wan walked out of this, but that could be for literally any reason.
I did hear
James Wan did fucking Malignant, so he's used to out there things.
Annabelle Wallace also.
Annabelle Wallace. We should talk about Malignant on this podcast. I think.
Oh, Malignant might be on the short list for an I Need One More. Will it make this season? I don't know if it's making mine. I have a choice.
Well, I told you after watching this movie, I almost want to do we should do a series of I don't need more.
Yeah, knock it off.
Knock it off. And this movie seems to be, this is part of the knock it off series.
I mean, generally with shared universes,
yeah,
knock it off.
Knock it off. Would you say the game is afoot for this one?
No.
Okay.
Especially because that movie is maybe not canon.
Yeah, it's not canon. Maybe it's not. Shout out Weekly Planet. I feel like you guys really got the ball rolling on some of the discussion of the cinematic universes and the game is afoot award. Yeah, I want to be excited for it. I'm sort of not. I don't find. I mean, this pitch sounds interesting. I like that they're actually going for a proper horror movie because it's even the original one. It's like. I mean, if that's what scared people in the 30s, I guess cool, but it is more of a drama, if anything. So they've always called it a horror movie, but the most successful version is a kick-ass adventure movie at this point. So
yes,
with some scary moments, but so it'll be interesting to see a proper horror take, I guess.
Yeah, I
want to be blown away.
Same. I want every movie to be good. I love movies. I love making movies. Like
we love the movies.
We love the movies. And I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. I want to have a good episode next week.
Lee Cronin did Evil Dead Rise, right?
Yes, which is a movie
that's a kick-ass movie.
I think rules.
That's a good one. So
what if it was in a Evil Dead in a building? It's a good idea.
Yes.
I'm excited for the next one.
Not enough Bruce Campbell, but still pretty good.
That's true. A little bit of Bruce Campbell.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Next week.
The
Mummy.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
The Mummy again.
The Mummy again.
It's The Mummy, The Mummy, and The Mummy.
The Mummy, The Mummy, The Mummy.
That's right.
Which came out after The Mummy and The Mummy.
We will see what Dish's commentary is going to be.
Yes.
He's not even looking at us right now. He's just like fully looking away.
Dish has got that you must not read from the book.
We said it last week, but I feel so bad sending that trailer in the group chat, and his just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited though.
Yeah.
I when they announced it, I was like, let's go. Let's do a new Mummy.
I mean, the Invisible Man one was good. I mean, the Wolfman was not.
Didn't get great reviews.
Didn't get reviews, but I also missed it, so I can't comment.
I tried to see it like 3 times, and my plans kept falling through.
I knew I wasn't going to see that one once I saw the trailer, but
yeah.
But it's on streaming. I have no excuse at this point, other than I'm still just kind of avoiding it, I guess.
Maybe
but I should maybe try to. Maybe we can kind of. I don't know if you
want. Good. We'll watch
for like
it
the episode,
before.
but maybe we can talk a little bit about this sort of new universe if it comes up. I guess
I would do that.
All right,
and maybe I will.
Maybe we will
with my good friend Chris Vale.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Chris Vale and Nick.
Well, it's Nick Morton, of course.
Yeah,
but of course, Nick Morton.
Nick Cage.
That's right. Now that's a guy who should be in a Mummy movie.
Absolutely.
National Treasure meets the Mummy.
Yes.
Good?
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that next week. We'll pitch it next week.
All right. We'll see you next week, guys.
Thanks for listening to another episode of We Need One More.
Be sure to click on the link for our socials and to subscribe to our Patreon, as those are the best ways to support the podcast.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.